I only had time to finish my affirmative case, not
Okay,
my
yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Just let me take a look at it.
okay.
Wait, did you attach it to the Google Classroom or?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, okay. Okay, you've already turned it in. Okay. Okay, so there's a couple of things I would change. Um, so your first like introduction of the resolution, just saying I'm proud to affirm, that's completely fine. Um, and then you have a link that says according to like the chinaembassy.gov information like
Oh yeah,
what is
that passage underneath, I think that belongs to that.
okay, but then you have another card and then so did you put two of the cards in like one kind of like two paragraphs or
Yeah.
okay, so for each card you want to have a separate source. So you want to like source it separately. Let me share my screen really quickly. Uh, I can go to like my let me go to my from okay here. Let me share my screen. Okay, here. Can you see this?
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, right, what you want to say, you strongly affirm the resolution, whatever the resolution is, and then you want to move on to value and then value criterion, which is your framework. So that's something that I see that you like don't have. Um, so you need a value and value criterion. So basically, your debate framework is that's basically how the judge kind of evaluates the debate and evaluates how well like you've kind of made an argument. Um, So one thing you need to have also is contentions. From this, I don't see you've like created like contentions, I guess. Um, but like generally like you can kind of put together a contention. Like also your site is a little off. So this is how you want your site to be. So like usually you can put the author, the year, the name of the article, the larger like publisher, and then the date it was published along with the link and then the day you basically access the article. That's kind of what you want. And then you want to have taglines, which are these things, which is like just basically like a one-line summary or kind of like an introduction to your argument that you're making within your card. So, we're near but now have reached the point of no return. Climate policies from major emitters like China can take us farther and farther away from this brink, right? And basically, what the card states is the faster we decrease our emissions, the farther into the future any tipping points will be, and then we're basically arguing that we need robust efforts from the world's nations, such as China. Like it's a big contributor to global climate change. So that's kind of what you need. Do you have the site creator extension for
Yeah, but like I just don't know like how to make it work because it has like many options and stuff.
okay, so usually okay, let me just stop share. For example, if I go to CNN, right? Does it come up like as a small pop-up at the bottom? Let me share my screen. One second. Right here. Let me just go to CNN and then so yeah. So do you see this?
Yeah.
Okay, let's just go to a article. Uh, yeah, why not just go to this U.S. women's soccer? So at the bottom, it has a site, right? Does it give that to you?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, then just copy paste that. Like if it's a decent grade, just copy paste that. Go to wherever, like here, right? Instead of all of this, just like I don't know if yeah, I can delete it, but like for example, you can just delete this, right? Paste in whatever like this is. So it gives you the author, gives you the date it was published, gives you the article's name, the publisher, and the link. So that's all you need. And then if you want, you can add the date. You kind of use the article, and then you just want to have like your cards kind of like formulate into a contention. So let me just like read through what you have here. Okay, so something you could say here, right, as your contention. Um, you could say, I don't know. Your contention could be so because this card is just basically talking about how the economy relies on like resources and environmental goods, right? So you, I don't know, you could just say like contention one is Chinese policies or something like that. They're already working towards it and they understand from their perspective that it's important, right? So that like I mean, this is kind of just stating that they're already prioritizing the environment. Um, I don't know how much that helps like towards the debate because you have to make like kind of like a specialized argument saying, why they should prioritize and the environmental protection over economic growth. But like specifically here, like I see a lot of your card is generally about like their vital importance to the country's overall interest and long-term development. And then here you say the Chinese government is unswervingly carrying out the basic national policy of environmental protection. So unless you're making the you have to kind of make an argument like even though they have environmental protection, it's like very base level and it's not like really beneficial. That's the argument you have to make here. Um, okay, let's see. Okay, so this is good, right? Um, okay, so this second card could just be like climate change, and you might maybe like reorder some of your cards. I'm just gonna read through it. Yeah, I don't think you really need this. Okay. You might want to highlight this. The Chinese people cannot yet claim several basic rights, right? You can say that. And you can kind of make it like to like make an argument where you need a proper environment in order to live like a proper life. And that causes, I guess, further social and economic distress domestically and levying even greater costs on the environmental future of the rest of the world. So yeah, that's fine. So you don't have to need the like write the number of your card. So like especially like just copy paste the site and then use the author's last name and the year. So this card, when you read it, right? Um, I guess you read your tagline and then you write Cohen 20 writes that. So that's basically like all you have to say. So just take a look at this and then kind of like reformat it similar to this, like how you have a tagline, you have your contentions, and try to combine the cards into like a larger argument because a contention is like maybe one argument you're making, right? And within that argument, there are multiple points, right? And when those, points kind of um, like kind of like together make a really like good argument, that is your contention, basically. That's what I wanted to say. And then that's what your judge evaluates you on. So you need a contention and you need framework. So framework here is this stuff. So value criterion. So your value is what you want to achieve at the end of the day, like after the debate. And the value criterion is like in what way like should we measure this? So like if you want to measure like how much I guess morality you've or like how you've improved morality, then the criterion should be like um basically measuring how much you've maximized societal welfare, if that makes sense. But that's all I have. That's really yeah,
Okay, thank you.
yeah, no problem. So just refer to the I'll put the link here. Just refer to the example I posted, and then you can use that. And if you want a negative, there's also a negative case. I guess you can just use that. Yashmit, did you want feedback?
I wanted feedback, yeah.
Okay. So, did you finish both the affirmative or negative case, or just one and
No,
then?
I didn't get to finish the negative one, but I turned in
Okay.
my affirmative one.
Okay, I'll look at the affirmative then. Okay. All right. Okay. Let me just read it, and then I'll just like write down some things and get back to you.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm there. I'm just reading your case.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so there are a couple of things. So you need a value and value criterion, which is like your framework for the debate. So your value is what you want to achieve at the end of the day. I think you heard me say this to Tejasvi. And then your value criterion is in like in basically a criterion in which you kind of measure how much or like how you've achieved your value. So that's what you need in order to like win a debate, even because that's how the judge kind of evaluates your case. Um, Moving from that, I think your site here is fine, but what you need to do is like can I suggest 1 second? Oops. Okay. Okay, I'm suggesting. So here you can see like you can say like Seaman Joe. Oh no, that's his first name. So you can just say Joe 20, and then you can like make that larger and bold that because that's what you're gonna read during a round. Okay. Oh, I make this a little smaller. Okay. So you can so in like a case, what you have to do is right, you have to add a tagline here. So add a tag. So do this for all the cards. So just add like a tagline like um I don't know, something about this. It would be like Chinese political leaders see how, the environment degrading has economic or like I don't know, like something along that line where uh I don't really understand the argument you're making here, but it's like maybe you should like take out your first card because starting not necessarily first card, but the first two parts you've highlighted. Wait, am I muted? Okay, no. But from China's environmental crisis, the result of decades of rapid industrialization, everything from that is fine. But the first part kind of like it doesn't give a lot of like value towards an argument or a debate because it just basically says that like they're highlighting environmental protection, they're stressing the like I guess the value of ecological protection and green development, and that they're going to remain as priorities, and then they're going to have it like new rules that kind of multi-stakeholder governance, transparency, and market mechanisms, which basically are trying to effectively like create incentives in order for there's like in order to increase the participation in economic policies. But basically like I'd say kind of like get rid of this necessarily and kind of continue on from this. In combination with the tagline, you can say that China's economy relies heavily on its environment. Without protecting the environment, you can't protect the growth of your economy or like the prosperity of your nation, something like that, right? And then you can go into saying like Zhou 20 states that China's environmental crisis, the result of decades of rapid industrialization, not only threatens whatever like your argument is. Like this is a good argument, right? So, it threatens the health and livelihood. There you have an impact. That's like one of your impacts right there, right? And then boom, you got water scarcity and soil contamination, right? That's it. And then here, there's another one, including flooding and droughting, right? So you should probably highlight this.
Well, you're not sharing your screen.
Oh my God. Okay,
Well,
I knew I was missing something. I thought I was muted. Okay. Anyway, I'll just go over it quickly. So I'd say like remove these two parts right here. Do you see it? Like remove that and then remove that. Or like just like shrink it, like shrink all of this and condense it. So I'm assuming that whatever here is in the same source over here, right?
yeah, after isn't
Okay,
a new
okay.
source.
So what you read as a cite during a round is the author's last name and the year is published. So all you have to like kind of say is Zhou 20, okay? And then like you could say my first contention is prioritizing environmental protection, right? And then your tagline for this card would be China's economy is heavily reliant on its environment, or yeah, on its environment. Without protecting the environment, you can't protect your economy or like whatever the prosperity of your economy, right?
Yeah.
And Zhou 20, and then you basically say that Zhou 20 writes that China's environmental crisis through decades, whatever you say here, right? And then this is basically your impact, health and livelihoods of people, like the people. So maybe you could do maximizing societal welfare, right? So you're trying to, benefit the health and livelihood of, the country's 1.4 billion people, okay? That would be your value criterion. You're, improving the air pollution levels. I guess there's impacts such as water scarcity, soil contamination that you solve for, like you bring a solution to that. And then on top of that, future consequences of flooding and droughts. Boom, right? And then here in response, further notation. Okay, you probably don't want to state this because it's just basically saying that China's economy will degrade if they try to I guess keep up to different climate agreements. Okay, here, so okay, so what's the impact of this, right? This maybe you could put into like a separate area. Like you can use the same source for two cards. So you can just kind of like copy paste it into a different one where it's like you can start talking about the impacts of climate change in China, like especially since China is one of the largest contributors, right? So for one of this, you could say like kind of make an argument where the economy is reliant on the environment, right? That's what you want to argue right there. And then your second contention, you can make one where it's like, if China doesn't reduce their greenhouse gas emissions, sorry, and then you could say, there's gonna be like whatever impacts you mentioned here, but like for the entire world, right? So, and then here I've already read this, so you can basically say that people in China want the government to protect their environment because they already, whatever they have their like economic growth, they already have everything, but they don't have whatever basic rights or basic like the right to breathe, and maybe that was Tejas Speaks case, but it's stuff like that where you could say, they don't have kind of air, they don't have good air quality, no water quality basically, and then they kind of live in an environment that's not necessarily the best as it could be, so that's what you want to argue here. Yeah, so you could say like policies like would have these impacts. So you could say whatever the policies would do and whatever impacts the policies would have, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, you don't really need this because this doesn't make an argument. So you want to attack your opponent, right? If your opponent says, oh, we should prioritize the economy because without the economy, you can't necessarily generate enough funds to launch environmental protection initiatives, right? And then you need to make the argument that without the environment, China would have never had any like economy. Like their entire economy is based off manufacturing goods, which are taking resources from their environment. If you don't protect that finite resource, then you're not going to have these industries in the future, thus causing a decrease in the economy. And then you could say like in a cycle, like this would decrease whatever, like decrease livelihood of people, decrease their health, whatever, right? So you kind of want to make that like chain of arguments where you kind of get your opponent into a trap where they can't necessarily argue out of it. That's what you want to do. So I say just like move your cards around to kind of fall into two categories, right? Like one, the protection of the environment is necessary. Oh, sorry. For the people, right? So you have their health, their livelihood, their water, their air, um, I guess the environment that they live in, right? And then you should make a second argument that states that maybe without the environment, you're not gonna have this like big economy that China has. Like that's like the most critical arguments you can make. So just try to like kind of like find sources and kind of find cards that formulate to that. So here, okay, let me go back. Okay. So my contention one is climate change, right? So they haven't reached a point of no return. We're basically saying that um we're not at the point of no return for climate change, but without, major efforts, then we're gonna reach that sooner and it's gonna become like a way larger problem, right? Then we make the argument that, China's greenhouse emissions have surpassed the US and the developed world combined. And then it's imperative for solving for climate change. Right now, I make the argument that China is responsible for whatever 27% of global emissions, and since environmental policies in China they're very very necessary in order to solve for climate change, right?
Oh wait, I'm sorry. Thank you though. Bye.
Yeah. Oh, okay. All right. See ya. Let me know if any of you guys need some feedback. I can just take a look at your cases.
Did class start at 8:30?
No, this is just for people who want some like I guess feedback for their cases. Like since some people have made like more progress on their case and they just want some new feedback.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no problem. But I guess we're just gonna start class now. I'm gonna end class a little early today since I have to like I work a job and I have to go to work, so um I'm probably gonna end like class 5 to 10 minutes early. And I don't think a lot of people have finished both their cases, so maybe I'll give like one more class in order for people to do it. And then after that we're just gonna have practice rounds. Because like a lot of people's cases are kind of like incomplete as in like there's just some critical things that they're missing, and if they just like it takes very little time, like maybe like by Wednesday they can do it. So that's just what I'm gonna do. So like today I just today I just recommend everyone to continue working on their cases, and then at like probably in the last 15 minutes I'm just gonna start giving feedback to everyone, so like you guys can make some like final changes. So just like I guess like continue working on whichever case you think like needs the most work, unless like you're almost like about to finish at least one case. Just ask if you have any questions. Yeah, so if anyone has any questions, like someone you can just ask me. I can like give you feedback, whatever you want. This is just like the last class we're gonna have work time for our cases, and then after that it's just gonna be only like debate stuff, so or like having actual debates. So just make sure you have all your stuff by the next class, and then yeah, we can wrap it up from there.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
What's happening?
If no one has any questions, I think we're gonna end today's class early. Just continue working on both your cases because I want to have everyone do affirmative and negative rounds. So that's like my end goal. So just make sure you guys are able to like at least finish, I guess like half of, or like one case and then half of another, and then we can just like debate that. So if anyone has any questions, please reach out now. If not, I'm just gonna end the call for everyone.
Thank you.
All right. I'll see you guys Wednesday. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Yep.